The energy surrounding this matchup feels different the moment you mention Eagles versus Cowboys, especially with Philadelphia bringing back those classic Kelly green uniforms for a rare road appearance. There's something electric about that color, something that reminds fans of an era when the identity of the team felt raw, edgy, and fearless. Seeing the players step onto the field at the rival stadium wearing that shade again creates a sense of confidence, like they are tapping into a part of their history that always brought attitude and intensity. It gives the game an atmosphere that goes beyond standings and statistics, turning it into a statement of identity and pride. And this is exactly the kind of week where emotions run high, because Dallas enters the matchup with an offense that has been operating at full speed. Their passing game is sharp, their ground attack tempts defenses to hesitate, and the protection around the quarterback has stabilized. It is a unit that thrives on rhythm and quick decisions, punishing any hesitation. But if there is one team built to push back, it is this Philadelphia defense. They continue to play with an edge that few teams can match, hitting hard, tackling clean, and closing windows with remarkable timing. The talent at every level has turned this group into one of the most reliable defenses in the league, often keeping the team alive even when the offensive side stumbles. The frustration comes from exactly that imbalance. Watching an offense with this much ability go through long stretches of inconsistency tests the patience of anyone who has seen what this roster is capable of. The numbers tell a story of an attack that cannot find its rhythm. Production stuck in the middle of the league, drives dying quickly, and inefficiency in situations where great teams usually shine. Third downs have been a recurring nightmare. The yardage totals never seem to match the potential. Even though the team dominates inside the red zone, it takes too much effort to get there. When an offense reaches the 20-yard line and suddenly looks unstoppable, it proves the talent is legitimate. The issue is everything that happens before that point on the field. A big part of the struggle comes from the lack of fluidity in the run game. Although the team consistently tries to establish it, the results are nowhere near what they need to be. The offensive line, normally a foundation of this franchise, has not delivered the same push at the point of attack. Without lanes opening, the running back often receives the ball with defenders already closing in. The difference compared to last year is dramatic, especially when measuring how far he gets before first contact. It is tough to expect explosive plays when every carry feels like a battle just to reach the line of scrimmage. And it is not because he lost ability. Every burst shows he is still fast and elusive. He simply has not been given the space to operate. Continuity along the line has been nearly impossible. Injuries have disrupted any attempt to build chemistry, forcing shuffles every week. A unit that relies on timing and communication ends up improvising, and that affects everything from zone blocking to pass protection. Just when it seems like the starting five might finally get a chance to settle in, somebody goes down again. These constant adjustments not only limit the run game, but also impact the confidence of the quarterback, who has had to maneuver around collapsing pockets far more often than expected. Despite this, the quarterback's individual production shows significant improvement in many advanced metrics. Whether under pressure, attacking man coverage, or reading zone looks, he has consistently placed himself among the best statistical performers this season. The raw numbers might not fully capture the work he has put in while dealing with protection issues, limited separation from his receivers, and a scheme that often feels too cautious for a player with his versatility. He has had off games, but no quarterback thrives when the offense around him lacks rhythm, balance, and unpredictability. And that leads to another central issue: the creativity of the passing game. This receiving duo remains one of the most skilled and dangerous in the league. Yet the play designs have not showcased their strengths often enough. When you analyze recent route patterns, the lack of diversity becomes impossible to ignore. Routes become predictable. Defenders know what is coming. Without motion, without misdirection, without creative alignments, even elite receivers struggle to separate. The middle of the field has been left untouched far too often, a section of the field that usually creates mismatches and easy yardage. Last season delivered multiple examples of how dangerous this offense becomes when the coaching staff moves its receivers around, mixes routes at different depths, and forces defenses to make mistakes. Those games featured crossers, deep posts, boundary comebacks, slot fades, and combinations that pulled safeties out of position. This year, too many snaps feel static. Too many alignments tell the defense exactly what is coming. It is not a talent issue, it is a design issue. Receivers capable of winning inside and outside should not be limited to repetitive patterns that neutralize their strengths. When you compare the best games of these receivers in recent seasons to what we have seen lately, the contrast is almost shocking. In their biggest performances, they were unpredictable, shifting formations, moving in motion, attacking the defense from angles that created confusion. This season, the absence of that variety stands out. At times, it feels like the offense is playing with the brakes on, ignoring opportunities to force mismatches and create explosive plays. And yet, the formula for turning things around is not complicated. This offense needs rhythm. It needs urgency. It needs sequencing that makes sense and design that forces defenses to think, not react. The talent is undeniable. The problem is structure. A predictable offense becomes easy to defend. A stagnant offense leaves too much weight on the defense. No team thrives like that, and no team wins deep into a season playing safe. The solution starts with embracing creativity and returning to what once made this offense dangerous. Movement, variation, balance, and tempo must return. The quarterback plays better when receivers move with freedom. The run game works when blockers build chemistry. Explosive plays happen when the design opens windows rather than closing them. This team does not need a miracle. It needs intention. It needs identity. And it needs to rediscover the aggressiveness that once defined it. And the more you break down what has been happening on the field, the clearer it becomes that the offense is not suffering from a lack of talent, but from a lack of alignment between what the players do best and what they are being asked to execute. This becomes even more obvious when you look at how opposing defenses have adjusted. They crowd the boundaries because they know the ball rarely travels over the middle. They jump the quick outs because they have seen the same combinations on film for weeks. They send pressure with confidence because the offense has not been punishing aggressive fronts with enough creativity. When a defense can anticipate the first read, the spacing, and the tempo, it becomes much easier for them to dictate the flow of the game. This is where coaching needs to take a more proactive role. The offense has to gain back the element of surprise. It has to stress defenders with motion across the formation, with layered concepts that challenge both linebackers and safeties, and with route combinations that force coverage to communicate at a high level. The best offenses in the league never let defenses settle. They keep them moving, keep them guessing, keep them in conflict. Philadelphia has the personnel to do exactly that, but the concepts have not reflected it. Too many snaps rely on players winning strictly through physical ability, while the design itself remains rigid. The receivers in particular need more opportunities to attack the field in different ways. When you limit elite route runners to a narrow slice of the field, you erase half of what makes them special. Both of them excel at changing tempo mid-route, creating leverage, manipulating defenders with subtle movements, and finishing plays with strong hands. Those traits shine when the scheme gives them flexibility. Last season, they thrived on crossers, deep shots, and timing routes that hit between zones. This season, the windows have been smaller and the opportunities fewer, not because defenses suddenly figured them out, but because the offense has stopped putting them in the most advantageous positions. The quarterback feels that burden too. There are moments when he hesitates, not because he doubts his arm, but because the design does not create clear progression points. Every quarterback, no matter how talented, needs structure that flows naturally, especially on early downs. Without that structure, the offense drifts into these stretches where every drive feels like it depends on individual plays rather than cohesive planning. Big gains become isolated moments instead of part of a larger rhythm. When that happens, the offense loses its identity. That identity has always been built around physicality, explosiveness, and balance. When they run with purpose, defenses feel it. When they push the ball downfield with confidence, corners have to respect it. When they mix personnel groupings and shift into tempo, the game bends in their favor. Everything starts to connect. And that is the version of this team that still exists beneath the surface, waiting for a spark. When the offense plays complementary football with the defense, the entire team transforms into something much more dangerous. What makes this moment so interesting is that the potential for a turnaround is right there. The issues are fixable. The roster is not lacking. The locker room still believes. And the numbers, even in the middle of the struggles, show flashes of who this quarterback and these receivers really are. The timing will improve once the line stabilizes. The creativity will rise if the coaching staff embraces flexibility. The explosive plays will return when defenses can no longer predict the flow of the offense. This next stretch of the season demands urgency. Every game carries weight, not just for standings, but for shaping the mentality of the team heading into the final push. The defense has proven it can compete with anyone. It has kept the team in tight battles, delivered stops in critical moments, and consistently given the offense chances to close out games. But they cannot be expected to carry that responsibility alone. The offense must match that intensity and consistency. They have to reward the defensive effort with drives that chew up clock, move the chains, and finish in the end zone. What the offense needs most right now is confidence. Confidence in the design. Confidence in the matchups. Confidence in the execution. When this group plays fast and free, they look unstoppable. When hesitation creeps in, everything tightens. And hesitation has been the enemy for weeks. Unlocking that confidence requires trusting the talent on the field. It requires calling plays that let the receivers dance through zones, trusting the quarterback to push the ball, and empowering the line to set the tone physically. This team still has all the pieces required to make a run. They still have playmakers who can flip a game in a single snap. They still have a quarterback capable of putting the offense on his shoulders when the moment demands it. And they still have a defense that gives them a chance every single week. The challenge is aligning all of it, repairing the rhythm, and bringing back the aggression that once defined them. The moment they commit to playing with purpose again, the entire season shifts. It becomes even more evident when you study the games where the offense briefly woke up. In those matchups, you saw formation changes, route diversity, middle-of-the-field shots, and tempo that kept defenses on their heels. Suddenly, everything looked different. Passes came out quicker. Running lanes opened. Receivers broke free across the field. The offense flowed like it was supposed to. And then, inexplicably, those elements vanished again. It is impossible to build consistency when the identity keeps slipping through the cracks. So now, staring at this matchup against Dallas, the urgency could not be higher. This is not just another game on the schedule. This is a measuring stick, a turning point, a moment when the offense either takes a step forward or gets swallowed by the same problems that have haunted them for weeks. The defense will show up, because they always do. The question is whether the offense will match that energy and bring back the creativity, the unpredictability, and the explosiveness that once defined this team. The talent is there, the quarterback is capable, the receivers are elite, and the running back is still a force. What they need now is alignment, identity, and a plan that puts every weapon in position to shine. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are echoing through the corridors of the NFL world, and the latest buzz centers on the Philadelphia Eagles. Rumors are flying that Marcus Williams, one of the league's brightest stars, might be making his way to the city of brotherly love, sending waves of excitement through the fan base. Sources close to the organization hint that discussions have been quietly progressing, and while nothing has been officially confirmed, the mere possibility has sparked a frenzy among Eagle supporters. Social media is ablaze with speculation, from highlight reels being reshared to debates over how Williams' presence could reshape the team's dynamics. Analysts are already imagining a lineup that suddenly feels unstoppable, with Williams potentially stepping into a pivotal role that could elevate the Eagles' defensive game to new heights. Conversations in sports bars and online forums are alive with predictions. How will he mesh with the current roster? Could his leadership on the field transform the squad strategy? Fans are dissecting every angle, from jersey sales to the potential formation shifts that might come with his arrival. Even casual observers are getting caught up in the excitement, drawn by the idea of a powerhouse team bolstered by one of the league's standout talents. The buzz is not just about his on-field skills. It's about the energy and confidence a player of his caliber could inject into the locker room. Coaches, insiders, and even rival teams are reportedly keeping an eye on developments, aware that the mere presence of such rumors can influence trade talks and draft strategies. Whether Marcus Williams will officially don the Eagles green remains unconfirmed, but the rumor alone has ignited imaginations and fueled conversations across the NFL landscape. Philadelphia, it seems, might be on the verge of witnessing a transformation, and everyone wants to be first in line to see what could unfold. The Eagles faithful are buzzing with anticipation, dreaming of game-changing plays and headline-grabbing moments, all sparked by the tantalizing possibility that Marcus Williams is heading their way. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.